let's focus back on Natasha though, because she was the one who was arrested. Tell us her condition, and then please tell us how people who are so moved by what they see here can get involved in helping her.
So, by the way, Natasha said to me that they kept repeating that she was working with Rebel when she actually keeps saying that she was not working with us. She never worked with us. She never took a dime from us. And it's just because we met multiple times trying to document those protests is how we actually met to each other, because she got assaulted before and she pressed a charge on other people who assaulted her in the past. She spent all night in the hospital. I think she's still there at the moment. Can you believe it? Almost like 24 hours after. But so they twist her arm and her rib.
Oh, she looks like she went down on her face.
Yeah. So I don't know if she got a concussion. I don't know yet what is the medical result that she gets, but that's for sure. I will let the people know what she's suffering from, because when the adrenaline went down, she started to be in pain everywhere. And by the way, we got followed. We got followed by
Alexa.
Oh, have we lost Alexa?
Maybe we have.
You know, Sheila, let me pick up this point that Alexa made about her and Natasha. The police saying you are provoking the mob. And all I can think about is going back to maybe half a century ago, where it was commonplace in Canada, in the US, if a woman was raped, for example, she would be crossed on the stand, and it would be, how much cleavage were you showing that day, honey? How much leg were you displaying? The idea that you brought this upon yourself, if these Islamists are being provoked, you know what? That's their problem, not our problem. This is despicable policing.
And sorry, at the moment I was talking about her, she called me, so I would call her back afterwards. So she's probably out of the hospital, and she would probably tell me what is happening. Can you believe that now she's out at 1 p.m. the day after? It's crazy. But yeah, she was feeling pain everywhere, and we got followed. And someone with a keffieh followed us. And the man parked in the same street than us. So she was worried to take her car. So we had to wait about an hour and a half for that man that was sitting in his car, was just waiting and watching. And I was like, this is really creepy that now we have people following behind us in Montreal. So this is one of the reality. What about me at one of my day off that I'm walking into Montreal, and suddenly I'm arriving face to face with those protesters. So now I can be arrested just because I'm exercising my rights to be in the public space and just to walk. What is going on here? Why those people never been sanctioned? I'm curious. I feel so many access to information to know how many people got charged in those protests, and nobody can tell me how many. I'm pretty sure that there is none, or maybe a few of them. But those people are chanting anti-Semitic slogan. They are calling for the death of Jewish people, clearly. And they are sometimes there is vandalism, there is assault, intimidation. Why those people never got charged with anything? Why Natasha needs now to face criminal charges for just documenting those protests? I'm not surprised. I didn't see mainstream media in Ottawa. I didn't see mainstream media yesterday either. So it's public interest. I don't know if you saw in Quebec, they want to stronger the secular law just because a lot of people are concerned about those public prayer, and why then nobody is reporting on those stories? People wants to know. There is a huge problem right here that if you're doing those protests and those prayer, you're in the public space, you have no right to intimidate, harass, or assault anybody because you are sharing a public space with others.
Yeah, well, I can tell you this, Alexa. In Toronto, the police service and the city say that it is a constitutional right to prayer, which is correct. But it is not a constitutional right to occupy a street and forcing ambulances in certain cases to divert. So that is a total red herring. They are so scared to come across as insensitive or bigoted or Islamophobic. This is what they say. And all these prayers, let's as they say down at the Midway, let's not kid the kidders here. This is not about praying. This is about displaying Islamist exceptionalism. This is about giving a middle finger to Canada, Canadian law, Western values, nothing more. And my final point on this, because I'm watching your footage, Alexa, and I can't help but notice how many of these thugs are masked up like, it's Halloween. This has to end. We have to have a law where if you're in public, you do not wear a mask. And I am including those women or those identifying as women who wear the niqab or the burqa. You want to wear that garbage? Do it at the home. Okay. Do it at the mosque. But you are at an inherent disadvantage when someone comes up to you and assaults you who's wearing a mask. Because when the police say who did it, you don't have a description of that person.
My point is, if you're praying, it's just like, why are you choosing the cenotaph? Why are you choosing churches? Why are you choosing synagogue? Why are you choosing places that have a signification for other religion who don't really feel comfortable of you doing your religious prayer in front of a monument that have nothing to do with your religion? Why are you not just choosing a plain place where there is no signification and just do it there without obstructing road or anything? But when it comes to places where have a high signification, people will see that as provocation. And I don't think it's really good, neither for the people like who don't agree with that. There is Muslims that don't agree with that. The thing is, they don't talk. They should talk and they should say, we are condemning this. And they don't do it.
Before we wrap up, ladies, I just have this question for you in terms of the two-tier policing and the political double standards. If a group of people, you name it, Jews, Christians, Hindus, Buddhists, if they went to a mosque and started doing a public display of prayer, I mean, not even chanting anything offensive, how quickly would the cops come in and revert to whack 'em and stack 'em mode?
Probably fast.
Yeah,
I think so.
Now, to get everything back on track here, and I just want to go back a little bit and point out, we're not anti-police. I know I'm definitely not anti-police. I'm anti-bad. Yeah, back the blue, but I'm bad police. Why? Because I'm pro good police and anti-bad police. I have a special disdain for bad cops because I know great cops, and the bad cops trade on the reputation that the good cops build in our communities. These guys they think they can get away with being bad cops because the good cops are doing all the good policing for them. Now, I want, before I let you go, Alexa, two things. We've got a clip from Pierre Poilievre. I want to show it to you. I want to get your reaction because Pierre Poilievre was asked about the chaos in the streets this weekend. And then after that, again, so we can get things back on track, I want to give you the opportunity to tell people how they can support Natasha because we haven't quite done that yet. So let's show that Pierre Poilievre clip.
On the issue of disorder and chaos, there's been plenty of it in Montreal in the past year and a half from anti-Israel protesters, including recently at Cavendish Mall, where the protesters were able to stay for 2 hours. Police claimed that they couldn't eject them because they hadn't committed a crime, even though there are criminal code provisions that enable them to do so, what would a polyamorous government do to encourage the enforcement of the criminal code in such situations?
Thank you very much. Well, after the lost Liberal decade of crime and chaos and breakdown in our society, we can't afford a fourth Liberal term. We need a change to bring law and order and respect. I want to condemn, first of all, the Liberal approach of dividing Canadians. We see Mr. Carney playing Justin Trudeau's trick of saying one thing to one group and exactly the opposite to another, inflaming sides to cause division while refusing to enforce the law. That will end when I'm Prime Minister. I will say the same thing to everyone, everywhere. And I will stand up for the right of Jewish Canadians to proudly live their lives, practice their faith, and enjoy their freedom. That includes wearing a Star of David, a kippah, or having a mezuzah on the door, and doing all of those things in total security. How? Well, we'll be bringing in tougher laws that crack down on hate-based vandalism, on violence and targeted at places of worship. We will bring in more security for places of worship. And we will deport from Canada anyone here on a visitor visa who carries out any crime. And we will prioritize the deportation of those who carry out hate crimes and violence on our streets. Those who are permanent or citizens who do those things, they will go to jail. And they will also, on top of that, there will be massive, crippling financial penalties for hate-based vandalism. And I can assure you they will be penalties that are so massive that there will never be, again, some punk thinking even once about throwing a Molotov cocktail into a Jewish business or firing at a Jewish school. They will pay a severe price for that. My message to the Jewish community, change is coming, and that change will mean you feel safe, you feel respected, you feel at home again in Canada.
I would say I think it was a really great answer, but also I'm waiting the time where we will have someone who decide to challenge in court the rights to wear a mask when you know that those protests are highly subjective to hate speech or any kind of crime, that we know that this is going to happen in those kind of protests. And police, when they decide that a protest is turned into an illegal protest, that people need to unmask right away or to be arrested for identification. I think now is the time that we need to think about what is going on. People who don't live in Quebec or Montreal, they don't know what is going on here. But the people who are masking up, they are committing really often vandalism and big damages. They are smashing windows. They are doing all kind of crime. And most of them, they don't get apprehended. Why? Because they are fully masked. And the police have received the order to not really arrest the people on the fact and to wait to identify them afterwards. But those people are fully masked. You can't really identify them. So most of them, they will not have any charge. So I think it would be important also to talk about the fact that people are masking up and for avoiding any sanction, any laws, and just get away with it and continue to do it repeatedly and just, you know, like, by example, the Last Generation Canada, they climbed the bridge here and they blocked traffic for hours. They also, it's the same group that painted Tesla building. they are still there in the street. They don't face anything for, like they are probably facing I don't know, charge in court. Do they will be found guilty or anything? But they are crowdfunding for their crime. So there is multiple stuff that is happening in Canada. As Sheila, you reported on it about the $244,000 sent to summer camp for one of the mosques in Quebec that have alleged ties to terrorism. So we need really to have a strong leader who say, yes, we will start investigating those places of worship that are probably doing indoctrination and maybe extremism. I think it's the time that we look into it and we do investigation, because now it's going too far for everything that we are saying right now. And the campuses is a hotbed of rising anti-Semitism and extremism, and we need to crack down on that, because look at what is going on, and especially here in Montreal. I think Montreal is one of the examples, and people should look at Montreal, because soon enough, your city will probably turn into what Montreal is right now.
And you know, Alexa, I'll say this, that the left drones on and on about threats to democracy. You know what the real threat to democracy is? You know what the real threat to law and order is? It's this unholy alliance of the Marxists and the Islamists. They're in bed together. They're all about tearing down society, and they're getting away with it. As for Pierre Poilievre, what he said, that's a principled stance. Pierre Poilievre is on the right side of history. So why are the Liberals and the NDP not saying what Mr. Poilievre is saying? It's just business, baby. Electoral math business. They've crunched the numbers. They know there are 5 times as many Muslims as Jews in Canada. And by the way, I'm not saying all Muslims subscribe to this garbage. I know many who are appalled by it, but they are placing their bets that there's more of them on the side of disorder and violence and vandalism than there are who support the state of Israel, the Jewish people, and that is despicable. And I think that is the unspoken reason why we are here right now.
And people want to support the defense of Natasha. We are standing by her. So we are crowdfunding money for her defense. She's facing really terrible charges, criminal charges. She's a mother. She, as I say, she never did anything wrong in her life. So you can chip in what you can at savenatasha.com. So it's savenatasha.com. And I appreciate everybody. And please feel free to send her a message to encourage her. I think she's really shocked, and she's kind of panicking, because criminal charge is not something that you want on record, especially when you're a mother with a children. What are you going to say to your daughter? I tried to do my job, and I got assaulted by police and charged with criminal charge, but I didn't do nothing like that